All set.
All right, we are now in session. The January 11th meeting of the ZBA is now in order. We'll start with case number one. Let me first say who's in attendance. The members of the board in attendance, myself, John Goldrosen, Stephen Cacciatore, Wayne Andrews, Robert Keeman, and Fred Gometti. Also, we have the ZBA Administrative Assistant Carol O'Brien and the Building Commissioner Robert Curran. We have the applicants Tanya Roach and Kenneth Amaru, and their engineer James Runkles is also there. And Mr. Runkles, can you just speak? It looks like you're all set now. You want to say something so we know we can hear you?
Are you listening?
They don't have a microphone emblem,
okay.
so that normally means that there's an
Yeah.
issue with the microphone on the
Says
device
we
they're
are
using.
trying to get Zoom to allow him to unmute. Okay, well, Mr. Runkles, we'll just proceed. If it turns out like you can't speak, then if something comes up and you wish to speak, we'll use the chat feature, so I'll keep an eye on that too. All right, this is case number one for 2021. Location of property 544 Plymouth Street. Type of district residence A2. Type of structure proposed. Owner's name Tanya Roach and Kenneth Amaru. Owner's
Yes.
address 544 Plymouth Street. When did you acquire this property? 2014. Has application been filed with town clerk? Yes. Has any previous appeal been made? No. Section of bylaw which relief is requested, section 6.5 variance. Reason for asking relief, owner wishes to add a front porch to the pre-existing home. This case was advertised in the Whitman Hanson Express on December 24th and December 31st. And sitting on the case will be Mr. Andrews, Mr. Gometti, Mr. Keeman, Mr. Cacciatore, and myself, John Goldrosen. At this time, we would have the reading of the list of abutters. There are no abutters present, so I'll entertain a motion to waive the reading of the list.
Don't move, Mr. Chairman. Wayne.
Moved by Mr. Andrews. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Second by Mr. Cacciatore. I'll take a roll call on the motion to waive the reading. Mr. Andrews,
Yes.
Mr. Cacciatore,
Yes.
Mr. Gilmetti,
Yes.
and myself, yes, and Mr. Keeman.
Yes.
Okay. So I am going to put up some of the, give me a minute, I'm going to try to put up on the screen the documents for the case, and then we'll introduce the applicant and let them explain what they're doing. And it looks like we lost your engineer. Maybe he's going to try to call back in. But let me get the document.
It's a good thing he's good at construction because he can't Zoom.
Okay, that's, let me scroll down. Can everybody see the documents on the screen now?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. I printed off a couple things to help here. Let me make, okay. This is where the cursor is. That's the house at the corner of Plymouth Street and Beverly Road. That's the driveway for 544 Plymouth Street. I also thought it would help. Let me, if I can remember how to, okay, that's a picture of the house as it exists now.
There it is.
Okay, so you have an idea as it looks from Plymouth Street. And this is the plan that was submitted, which has been sent out to everybody. Why don't I turn this?
Oh, yeah, this is drawn.
Just gonna. Okay. All right. Mr. Amram, Ms. Roush, do you want to just explain to us what you want to do?
Sure. So there's a cement porch on the front that is the existing porch.
Okay,
And it's all falling apart.
It's fallen apart and everything. So we're gonna do this a different style porch, but like pretty much the same size. I do think it's like a foot bigger. Jim would know more, but he's not on.
yeah.
And then we're gonna do what he calls a punch out on the corner of the house and
Okay,
bring it to the side of the house.
So it's
okay,
gonna be a wraparound porch.
It's like a wraparound, but not all the way across the front of the house. It's gonna start right where the existing one starts, and
all
it's
right,
gonna have punch out on the corner.
okay. So it's, looks like it's gonna run, your existing house sort of has a front section where you have like the little overhang right now, and then,
Like an octagon on the corner.
yeah, so like there's a right section, a section on the right side of the house that it won't run in front of that
Correct.
section.
Yep.
And will there, what steps will there be to the porch just from the front, or?
So the steps we have two doors. There's one on the front of the house where you can see in the picture you showed the existing
right.
door.
And you go
Right.
the
The
same way.
stairs will go the same way straight out. And then on the side of the house, we have stairs now, but they go sideways out. Now they're gonna go straight down.
Okay. Okay,
So like
And-
now you'd walk out the door and go right to go down the stairs.
okay. All right. I'm just gonna ask the building commissioner, Mr. Curran, can you explain what the zoning situation here is and why they need a variance to do this?
Yeah, they don't meet the front setbacks on Beverly Road to begin with, so they are going closer than what they already have. The zoning is A2. Front setback is from both streets is 30 feet. And then the other two setbacks are both sides, which are 15.
Okay.
Yeah, that's correct.
Let me just clarify that. So
Is that Jim?
the front setback.
Yeah,
is.
I'm here.
Mr. Curran, the front setback requirement is how much?
It's 30 feet from either street
Okay, because it's a corner lot.
because it's a corner lot.
Okay, so is the house already non-conforming?
Yes.
to the front setback? Though it looks like they're like, if I read the drawing correctly, they're like 40-something feet from the front.
That's correct. The requirement is 30 from both streets. So
Okay,
towards the street, they have 41
all right. So they just need the variance for the side setback.
for the front on the Beverly Road side.
Okay, right, I'm sorry. So I guess everybody understands because it's a corner lot that's subject to 2 front setback requirements from each street. Even though Beverly Road is the side of the house, it still counts as a front setback, so they have a 30-foot setback requirement there. Now, are they already in violation of that setback? Because it looks like they are, like they're only 26 feet.
Yeah, it looks like they're 26 feet and 24 feet right now. So this will add 6 feet to that, which will
Yeah.
make 20 and 18.
All right, so they actually, since there's already a violation there, this is an increase in existing nonconformity. So I think they only need a determination.
I don't disagree with that.
Okay, all right, so I think we're in agreement on that. So all that they need for this is, just for the sake of the members of the board and the applicants, they just need a determination that this is not more detrimental to the neighborhood than the existing structure. Okay, and this is a one-story house, or sort of one story with an attic. How high will the porch be?
I think our construction guy's on there.
Yeah. he-
Okay,
Yeah, I don't know if you guys can hear me.
yes, we can hear you now. So this is Mr. Runkle, so.
Yes, Redmond Construction. So the porch will be approximately 3 feet above grade.
All right,
Of course, it has a roof on it, so that'll be a little bit higher, but pretty consistent with the height of the existing roof over the porch.
okay. So it's essentially 1 story. The porch will be 1 story high, I mean, because the roof line will just go with that.
Correct.
Okay, all right. All right, let me, I have a couple of letters to read into the record from other members, from other town boards, and then we'll have questions from the board. From the Board of Health, the Whitman Department of Public Health has no objection to the petition of Tanya Roach and Kenneth Emery to add a front porch to the existing home located at 544 Plymouth Street. As records indicate, this home is connected to municipal sewer and water. Sincerely, Mary Kelly, clerk. And from the planning board, at the October 13th, 2020 meeting, the board reviewed the plan for 544 Plymouth Street. The planning board normally would be recommending for approval, but the land surveyor failed to submit a proper site plan as required by the zoning board. The submitted plan does not show abutters, driveways, or other information such as a locus that is required. For these reasons, we are recommending denial of this plan. The planning board will be sending a letter to the engineer at the address in the application to inform him of the requirements when submitting a site plan for approval. So, Mr. Runkles, I mean, what we normally would like to see is the neighboring houses which you have, although not across the street, any driveways, but that's particularly where there's something that's going to impact those structures. And that was one reason I added the aerial view, the Google Maps view, so that everybody can see where it is in relation to the neighboring properties. And I'm just going to go back to that. Just so people see. So this is the house. The porch would be on the front and the side, that front and side. The nearest house in this house on the opposite side of Beverly Road, but it also faces Plymouth Street. That's their driveway. And there's the convenience store, I guess, over here, and the house over here as well. And the driveway for the applicant's house is on Beverly Road over here. Okay, let me go to members of the board for questions. Mr. Keeman?
I have no questions.
Okay, Mr. Cacciatore?
No, I have no questions at all.
Mr. Andrews?
I took a ride by that house on Friday, and there's no problem with that at all. It's going to be a good improvement for the house. I have no questions.
Okay. Mr. Gilmetti, any questions?
I'm all set, John.
Yeah, and I also have, I walked by the house and I agree it'll be an improvement, and it has absolutely no impact on any of the neighbors because the house on the opposite side of Beverly Street faces towards Plymouth Street. So this doesn't affect them at all, and it will be an improvement. Any other comments or questions from members of the board? Anything further from the applicant? You don't need to say anything.
I wondered who was looking at my house funny the other day. I think I saw one of yours.
I walked by probably early
Somebody
in the
drove by
morning.
in a pickup truck. Maybe it was the other gentleman, and we're like, I wonder what he's
All right,
doing.
Tanya, let's get
No, I
on.
was in a car.
Okay.
Okay, I'm going to close this just so we can again see each other. And okay. All right, I'm going to close the hearing then and entertain a motion from the board. So the motion would be for a determination that the addition is in keeping with the zoning bylaw and is not more detrimental to the neighborhood than the existing structure. And hear a motion to that effect.
So move, Mr. Chairman. Wayne.
Moved by Mr. Andrews, is there a second?
Here,
Second by
Steve.
Mr. Cacciatore. We will take a roll call vote. Mr. Andrews,
Yes.
Mr. Cacciatore,
yes, sir.
Mr. Keeman,
Yes.
Mr. Gilmetti. I think I heard him say yes.
Yes, yes.
Okay, and myself, yes, so the vote is 5-0 in favor. You're all set.
Thank you
Thank
very much.
you.
Thank you so much.
Happy New
Okay.
Year.
Get my dream
right.
porch.
And Mr. If you're in
Thank you,
contact
gentlemen.
with Mr. Curran, he can explain, we need to file the decision, but there won't be any issue with this, so. Okay,
Thank you.
Thank you all so much.
Thank you.
you.
Thank you.
It's awesome.
Okay, let's see, it's 20 after, so we can get the minutes done. And I don't see, let me just see, I don't think we have anybody else. I don't think the 7:30 people are here yet. No, I don't see them, so. All right, so we have minutes from the December 7th meeting.
So we can hang up.
Is that what he said?
You can
You hang up?
You're all set.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a
Good
nice
luck.
night.
Minutes for case number 15, James McDonald, 340 Essex Street. That was the, to have the pet food store at the storage locker location. So let's see. Looks like myself, Fred, and Bob Keeman were present and voting on that one. So can I hear a motion from one of you?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes.
Fred, will you second the motion?
Yes.
All right, I'll take a vote. Mr. Keeman,
Yes.
Mr. Gilmetti,
Yes.
and myself, yes. Minutes for case number 16. This is 6 Caholen Drive for a kennel license. So let's see, that would be myself, Fred, Steve, and Bob Keeman. We're sitting, are present for that one.
Motion to approve.
Motion by Mr. Cacciatore, is there a second?
I'll second.
Second by Mr. Keeman. The vote, Mr. Cacciatore,
Yes.
Mr. Keeman,
Yes.
Mr. Gilmetti,
Yes.
and myself, yes, 4-0. And case number 17, this is the one that we've continued to tonight for 330 High Street. Again, myself, Mr. Gilmetti, Mr. Cacciatore, and Mr. Keeman were present for that one. Can I hear a motion on that one?
Motion to approve.
Mr. Keeman, motion to approve. Is there a second?
I'll second it, John.
Second by Mr. Gilmetti. I'll take a vote. Mr. Keeman,
Yes.
Mr. Cacciatore,
Yes.
Mr. Gilmetti,
Yes.
and myself, John Goldrosen, yes, 4-0. And the general minutes, same 4 people for the general minutes. I can hear a motion.
Motion to approve.
Motion by Mr. Cacciatore. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Second by Mr. Keeman. Take the vote. Mr. Cacciatore,
Yes.
Mr. Keeman,
Yes.
Mr. Gilmetti,
Yes.
and myself, John Goldrosen, yes, 4-0 for that.
John, do we have time for that?
Yeah, we do, because we got about 10 minutes and the applicant for the next case isn't here. Before we do that, though, Carol, do you have any idea if Fred Laws was going to be making it? Because he was the 5th person who
You want
said,
me to call him?
Yeah, why don't you call him? Otherwise, I don't have a problem with, because we're really gonna have to go over the whole thing again. So if we can't get Fred, Wayne, I'll add you to the panel, even though you weren't here for the last one, because we sent them away and asked them to redesign the structure. So, as far as I'm concerned, we'll be almost starting from scratch anyway. So,
All right, I just have an easy question.
yeah, go ahead.
All right, can we give Carol the authority to reject cases that don't have the correct and adequate site plans with them? Because very few cases now, even from the guy on West Street, comes through with the abutting properties, the driveways anymore. And like this one we just had tonight, they didn't have a locus on it. We're letting these land surveyors slide through without giving us the information that's supposed to be on as a matter of fact. Can we give her the authority when she picks them up to reject them?
No, I don't think we can do that, because once they file it, the clock starts ticking. If we refuse to act and they stood in their rights, they could get constructive approval. I have, in a couple of cases, had her or Mr. Curran reach out to an applicant and say, hey, I know the board is not going to be happy with this one, with this site plan. You got to give us more.
Mr. Chairman,
Yeah,
can we get a packet together, and every time somebody applies for something, hand them that packet?
well, I think there's, Mr. Curran, isn't there a set of, Carol may be on the phone at the moment, but isn't there like a set of rules that they have available to them?
But they don't all go to Seaboard. A lot of them
No,
bypass.
I know. So, Mr. Curran, what
First
suggestions?
of all, if I can speak, they don't come into my office anymore.
Yeah,
A lot of times I get these plot plans, like the one for Plymouth Street. I spoke to the engineer on that, and I told him what this board expects. And he was on his way to vacation the day he was finishing that. So he was leaving. I said, well, can you get the houses shown on it? And he did that.
Well, this one wasn't bad tonight, Bob.
Well, it wasn't bad.
No, I mean, it had the house behind it.
So,
And
so if I look at what a normal plot plan as a builder is, they don't include the neighbor's house, and it doesn't include the neighbor's driveway. So you guys have the resources to look it up on your own. Just Google Earth it if you have to. But typically what I do is I let them know what you expect, because I know that you guys want the houses, next door houses and the driveways. But if they don't have it, I can't stop them from submitting it. Now, we did do just do new applications for the ZBA. It includes an email and a phone number. And that will be helpful for anybody that wants to get a hold of the applicant to change, to add something to the plan, or to bring it the night of the hearing. So it's, a lot of people think that I have to approve things before they go to the town clerk. That's not true. I will facilitate the best I can. I usually fill out the applications if they request me to help them. But
Well, the reason I'm bringing it up is because it says that in the zoning bylaw that we have,
well,
that
it
this
says it on the site.
information is supposed to be on there.
Wait,
And
it says-
if they don't get copies of our bylaws, or if they've never practiced in this town before,
Well, yeah,
then they don't know it.
what it does, Wayne, is it turns a plot plan into a site plan by what you're asking. And then you get into whether or not they should put contours to show the slope of the land. And as Fred knows, that when you do a plot plan for, say, construction, you don't ever submit anything that shows a neighbor's house. So it's one of those things where for you guys, it's great information, but I'm not so sure it's something that should be a sticking point.
Well, then we should have it taken out of the bylaw. The bylaws need to be revised anyway.
Well, it talks about a plot plan, and it gives a definition of a plot plan. And the plot plan definition doesn't say you're gonna put the neighbor's house on it, and it doesn't say you're gonna have the neighbor's driveway. So I think you should bounce this back and forth on board to see just how important it is, whereas you have the information available on your own.
But Kyle Garvey used to do it as a matter of routine. Now he doesn't do it anymore either.
Yeah, no, I'm looking at the plan for High Street. He's got both the neighbors' property showing. He doesn't show their driveways, but I don't know if that even matters on a side addition of a garage, a garage.
No, but I mean, something like this one tonight, it didn't make any difference. But some
And
of
I
these
agree.
people
So, but just so you know, it cost me about an hour of my time trying to get a hold of that engineer, knowing that you guys wanted that information for this hearing. And I kind of bothered him and he went out of his way to add the two houses.
Yeah.
And that ended up good for nothing. But
And that's why I took it on myself to download those Google Maps so you guys would, because I knew it would come up. Where is this house? Where is it in relation to the neighboring properties? And like I say, there have been a couple. I mean, I'm thinking of Richie Rosen's addition to that Millie's Lunch building, where I looked at the plan and say, this isn't going to fly with the board when all he had was like a mortgage plan or something. And that's when I got in touch with Carol. I don't want to talk to the applicants directly myself, but I went through Carol and Bob on that. And there was some other one recently too, where I said, please get in touch with the engineer and tell them that they got to give us something better by the night of the meeting. So yeah, I'm keeping an eye on it. And you know, we had something like this. Once I looked at the porch, once I went down and actually looked at the house and said, okay, this, you know, if it had been a different situation where, you know, the two houses faced each other across Beverly Road, you know, then it would have been more important, but both houses face Plymouth Street.
But
So
I'm talking about like if they're putting the in-laws on the side of the houses like Mayflower Circle and Holly Ridge. They
yeah,
were doubling the size of the existing house.
yeah,
Stuff like that. You know, we shouldn't even accept those, especially where they have the foundations already in. We should say no. Because they're subverting the damn bylaw, you
yeah.
know?
Well, I mean, I will keep my eye out for it when, as soon as
We've been getting too lenient with, we're not upholding the bylaw the way it should be.
but again, I
That,
think,
that's just my opinion.
you know, and I think as Mr. Curran has explained, you know, it isn't, depends on the, you know, obviously if you have some big projects, some, you know, commercial project, like I'm trying to think when they came in with the liquor store, did I have any issue with that plan or was that one okay as far as?
No, that one was,
yeah, I think that was a Garvey plan, right?
Yeah, yeah, you know, something that's significant and obviously, you know, one of our questions is going to be, how does this affect the next door neighbor? Then yeah, it should, you know, it should have that. Something that like this porch that really doesn't affect anybody. I'm willing to be a little more lenient there, or you know, try to fill in and give you what you need to know. So,
all
so
right, well,
you know, I'm
say-
conscious of it, Wayne, but I think, you know, particularly in these, you know, somebody with a smaller project, I want to be a little bit reasonable too.
I won't say anything about it from now on. I'll just let it slide by.
No, Wayne, the other thing is,
And we'll make a fuss.
yeah, well, when we get applications now, I have the owner's phone number and their email. That makes it a lot easier for me to get a hold of them. And I do contact everybody that submits a deficient plan. And sometimes I let them go through with the plan they originally proposed. And then I say, just make sure the night of the hearing that you have an updated plan.
Right.
So I'll do the best I can, but I can't tell them I can't.
Right, we have to accept it and proceed from there. And if we need to at the night, and one reason I look at them ahead, Wayne, is that we have the right the night of the hearing to say, we're going to have to continue the hearing because the plan isn't adequate. And I'd rather let them, so there have been times I've said to Cal, get in touch with them ahead of time so that we don't run into that situation.
Yeah,
We'll
well,
be able to handle it. So we're, you know, we're aware of it.
well, this one tonight was fine. I mean, this was a minor thing, just doing that porch.
Okay, we've been joined now by Ms. Laubacher, the applicant for the case. Carol, any luck at your end?
No answer.
Okay, so I need to open the hearing and then we'll proceed from there. So this is case number 17 of 2020. This is a continuation of the hearing for 330 High Street. And so sitting on the case that night was, just pull it out here. So we had Mr. Gometti, Mr. Cacciatore, Mr. Keeman, myself, and Richard Blas were here that night. Mr. Andrews was not present at that meeting, and Mr. Blas is not here tonight. So to have a fifth member, I'm going to appoint Mr. Andrews, and we'll, Ms. Laubacker, normally if somebody didn't, if one of the members wasn't present for a first hearing, you can't participate thereafter, but since we've asked you to come back with different plans anyway, it's almost, a different situation. So
Okay,
I'm going to appoint Mr. Andrews and allow him to sit on this to provide us with 5 members. But we'll need to kind of take it from the top a little bit on this case. So I'm just going to read the application again. This is an existing dwelling, proposed in-law, owner's name, Laubacker Family Irrevocable Trust, owner's address 330 High Street. When did you acquire this property? 5/22/1995. Has application been filed with town clerk? Yes. Has any previous appeal been made? No. Section of bylaw of which relief is requested, section 6(6) special permit for accessory apartment within the single family home. Reason for asking relief, proposed use is allowed by special permit to allow family member to occupy the residence of another family member. And let me just, Mr. Garvey submitted a revised site plan. So give me a minute and I'm going to try to call that up. If I see it here. All right, did everybody, I sent out the revised site plan. Does everybody have it? Because it'll take me a few minutes to try to find it on my computer, I think. Is everybody okay? The main, it looks like the change you made was eliminating the 4-foot addition on the side. But Ms. Laubacker, why don't you just explain again, particularly for the benefit of Mr. Andrews, explain what you're proposing to do, and then we can get into where things stood last time and what you're now proposing to
well,
do.
there's an existing garage, 2-bay garage, and we're looking to now, in this revised plan, just stay within the parameters of the garage, build a floor above with like a sitting TV room, kind of a efficiency kitchen area and a bedroom.
Okay. And again, to remind the other members and for the benefit of Mr. Andrews, last time there were several abutters present for the property to the south of the property, I guess. There's a little triangular piece of land, the ownership of which is a little uncertain. And so the people who at least might have an interest in that piece were present, but they didn't really have any issue with the addition as such, once it was explained to them that none of the addition, even when you were proposing an addition, which I think you're not anymore, but none of them are here tonight. So whatever issue that they might have had with the structure, I think they were just concerned that it was going to go into that disputed area. It wasn't even as proposed last time, and it isn't this time. So anyway, whatever concerns the abutters might have had seem to have been addressed okay. So do you have, so the issue last time was the board felt we weren't maintaining the appearance of a single family house. And I think you had some architectural plans that time. Do you have?
No, they're not right. They couldn't revise them this
Okay.
quickly, even though I know we had since the last meeting,
Okay.
but by the time I tied up loose ends. It's gonna go directly over the garage as it exists now.
Okay.
I'm not sure how that would look like another home where it's existing anyways in the same perimeter. Whether there's any other addition, any other changes that would need to be made just for one floor above. There wouldn't be an outside staircase, only a second egress would be behind the house off the balcony. And the other one, I think Mr. Cacciatore, Steve suggested off the breezeway for the main one. So, you know, it's either gonna go inside the garage or off the breezeway.
Okay, all right. Yeah, the problem was that, as I recall, and this used to be Bud Talpay's house, I think.
Yeah.
Mr. Andrews, and it was built like perpendicular to the street.
Right.
It doesn't face the street, and the addition was sort of going to go in the other direction. We looked and said this, you know, and there was even some question about whether that was really the best from a design point of view as well, which is.
Yeah.
So since you don't have the plans, I think we should continue this again, because without seeing the new plans, we can't really.
So what would the new plans show? What the interior is going to be, or what the?
And the exterior, you know, I mean, you had good architectural plans last time in the sense that they showed us.
Oh, yeah.
I think particularly the exterior. I think the interior, unless I'll let other members of the board speak in a minute, if they have anything that it was, you know, you gave the architectural plans you gave us had all of the views from all four sides of the house.
Right.
So it gave us a good idea what it would look like. So I don't think the interior is important. Does anybody have any different feeling on that, Mr. Keenan?
Mr. Chairman,
Yeah, Mr. Cacciatore?
is she changing the roof line at all?
Slovak, so I think
Well, I think that the roof line was an issue, and correct me if I'm wrong, because the extra 4 feet that was going off to the side kind of made a more expansive view from the street, which maybe even with the garage bays looked like a second home. But I hadn't planned on changing it where we were going to just.
That's good. So you're just going up a floor, you're not changing the roof line, so it'll look like just a little bigger garage, that's it.
Yeah, it looked kind of like a, you know, for all intents and purposes, I see a lot of this around town, like a family room over the garage.
Correct,
Something
yes,
like that, yeah.
yeah.
yes,
We
beautiful.
call it FROMO or something like that, FROG, Family Room Over Garage. The acronym for it. Yeah.
So I'd have no problem with going, I'd
What's
have
that?
no problem. Go ahead, sir.
Mr. Cacciatore, you remember, but what was our issues with
The roof line went the opposite way of the house,
Yeah.
okay? So, but if the garage is gonna go up the way it is and it stays the same, it's just adding another 8 feet higher, really.
Okay. Yeah, that was it. Because the roof line was different from the house, and you sort of had like the gap, it was like the breezeway was connecting two structures. That was what it
Right,
looked like.
this way here, she's building the breezeway up with the stairs going up. It's gonna look just like, just a little bigger garage, that's it.
Yeah, so I think you're going in the direction we wanted it to, but we still would like to need to see the plans to
You just
approve.
need the exterior?
Yeah, does that,
plan.
everybody agree with that? See, the exterior is what we're concerned about,
Okay.
because
Yeah.
that's our charge really is, and I mean, and Mr. Andrews, I know you're concerned about the, it is in addition to the, well, it's not in addition to the footprint though, because you're not. No, you're not
It's going
changing
up.
the footprint, it's just going up.
Yeah.
I just have a couple.
Additional space, but it doesn't change the footprint of the house.
John, can I add something?
Yes, Mr. Cohen.
So I did speak with the designer today. He said he's really busy and he needs some more time to come up with
Yeah.
something. And he was kind of upset that the fact that he said he walked the neighborhood and he saw a lot of houses that were built kind of similar to this, and they had second floors over the garage. And he thought it was a little bit ridiculous that the board was saying that didn't work. I don't know if I agree with that, but also she doesn't need a variance anymore. I think
Right.
she needs a simple determination from this board So it changes kind of the scope of things. She'll need a special permit for the in-law and a determination because of that 14.71 feet in the back left corner. So
Okay.
she,
Even though she's not expanding the footprint anymore, it's going up, it's going up. Is that why she needs the determination?
yeah, I think,
Going up in height?
well, it's residence A1 and it's actually, it's supposed to be 20 feet. So she's not that, and she's going to, it's potentially increasing the non-conforming nature, but
Right.
that's a determination this board
Right.
needs to make.
Okay, so it'll be a
So I think
determination.
at this point, she
I'd
can
make it down.
addition, like we've talked before, where she could add the addition and come back for a special permit. She can't even do that. So, you know, I think that she's kind of at your mercy. So you could just continue it. And the designer said he said he loved you, Joanne, the designer. And he said he
We'll take that into account, all right?
yeah, he said that she's a sweetheart. And I think that if he had a little bit more time and I was more at his, I don't think he called me last Thursday. I couldn't get back to him until today. So I will help him if he needs some guidance. But Joanne, if that's all right with you to continue this, I think you
Yeah,
have.
I mean, I'm looking for the determination. This now, because of other situations, has moved. It's not going to be happening next month or the month after.
Okay.
I've got some time, but I've taken it this far. I want to just get this, I think,
Sure.
determination and maybe the special permit when that time comes. So, yeah, you
So,
guys want to keep seeing me every month? That's
You know, it sounds like, you know, we won't be holding you up. So,
no, you're not.
so Carol, I mean, we have one case you haven't been able to pick up the plans for yet. So I was looking at February 22nd, Monday, February 22nd for the next meeting.
Can
So
I
that-
just interject and ask, to be clear, do you just need the exterior view?
Yes,
Okay.
you know, again, ideally the four sides. But at least-
Yeah, I just don't want to put them on the case of redoing everything until the time comes that I need it.
Yeah, I don't think there's any need for the interior.
Okay,
Mr. Chairman,
Agree with that?
that should be simple enough.
Yeah.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes,
could I ask a couple of questions?
sure.
Well, I wasn't here the last time.
Yes, yeah, please do.
You're gonna add a second story to the garage, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, how many rooms are you gonna have for the in-law?
Well, it's grown a little smaller now since we've taken away the 4 feet. Probably like just a little kitchen island kind of thing. A sitting area like for TV and a bedroom and a bathroom.
Okay, and you're gonna have you gotta have any exterior doors on it?
Well, the back of the house, which has plenty of acreage, probably a back deck with a stairway down.
Okay, and then there'll be a second exit inside, is that correct?
Either inside the garage or from the breezeway. There's a breezeway that connects the house and the garage.
All right, so the garage on the first level will still be a garage, is that right?
Oh, absolutely.
That's all I had. You know, where I wasn't here last time, I didn't get to see the
I'm
site.
not giving up my bay for anyone.
Mr. Chairman, I'd vote for it tonight.
The other thing to know is it's for your 99-year-old father.
Well, yes and no. He wants to see this happen. He's walking and talking. He has no dementia. He can climb stairs. He does it in the main house here now. But, you know, God willing, if by the time we actually get this done and get to it, whether he'll get to enjoy some of it for a little while or not, well, is yet to be seen. But
Okay,
he's remarkable.
sounds
He's
good.
remarkable. Yeah. No
Okay.
crutches, no wheelchairs, nothing.
Great.
Love it,
Yep.
love it.
That's the Italian in him.
It's good.
Okay, Carol is February 22nd. That's, does that date work for everybody? Monday, February 22nd?
My anniversary.
Oh,
It's okay, I'll be here.
Tell you what, we'll put this on at 7, get it wrapped up and
Yeah, because I want to see that Miss Lawbarker get this.
okay.
You won't be here, Steve. Your wife won't let you come.
My wife will be right next to me. Don't worry about it.
You can always call in on a phone.
This will be to view the exterior.
Yeah,
Just- yeah.
you know, we'll make it, get the determination and the special permit done. Just need to see that to have it done. Carol, so it's February 22nd, otherwise okay, and Carol, we haven't done anything to schedule the other case yet, right?
No,
So why don't we put this one on at 7 o'clock on the 22nd?
okay.
And when you get the other case, you and I can talk, see whether we need to make it 7:30 or maybe even a little earlier, but let's put this one on for 7 o'clock. And I mean, Ms. Laubach, I mean, if that would, you know, we could do it, you know, a couple weeks earlier, but then who knows what your architect's schedule would be. So
Yeah, no, I think that's
as long
fine.
as you're not going to build it till April, whatever,
Well, the
let's.
timeline has shifted, so we're okay right now.
All right, so I'll entertain a motion to continue this hearing to Monday, just double check here, because I made a mistake once before. Monday, February 22nd at 7 o'clock. Can I hear a motion?
Yeah, John, I'll make the motion.
Moved by Mr. Gometti. Is there a second?
I'll second it, Mr.
Second
Chairman.
by Mr. Andrews. I'll take a vote. Mr. Cacciatore,
Yes.
Mr. Keeman,
Yes.
Mr. Gilmetti,
Yes,
Mr. Andrews,
Yes,
and myself, John Goldrosen, yes. So we'll, again, it'll be Monday, February 22nd at 7 o'clock. And Ms. Laubach, if the architect gives it to you, first of all, if you can do a PDF of it, and if you can send it, I guess, to Carol, or Mr. Curran, does she have your email?
I'm sorry?
If she gets the architectural plans in enough time to get a PDF to me, I can send it out to all the board members before the meeting and put it, you know, I can put it up on the screen on my end. And
Okay.
Yeah, whatever you need, I'll help.
Yeah,
I'll get it
be in
tomorrow.
touch with Mr. Curran. If you email it to him, he can forward it to me. I can get it out to everybody. So maybe that'll help if you tell the architect it'd be nice to have it a week ahead of time.
Okay, I will.
John,
Yes,
can I ask her a question?
yes, please go ahead.
Does her architect do renderings?
Does he do what?
Renderings?
Renderings?
I don't
Bob,
know.
you know what a rendering is?
That would be an elevation drawing, just that would show.
Well, you know, I don't know if it'd be faster to do a rendering or is this guy an architect? Usually your architects are artists.
Yeah, you're right. And I will coach him. I'll tell him what we're looking for.
Okay,
A rendering would be fine.
Yeah.
You know,
Yep.
rendering is just tell her, Bobby, that a rendering is like a painting.
Yeah.
You know?
I'll talk to her. Joanne, I'll talk to you about it.
Okay,
Just call me whenever you're ready to talk to the designer.
okay.
You know what I'm talking about, John, right? You must have seen, yeah. Okay,
all right, so we're all set. We'll see you back here on Zoom on February 22nd.
22nd, that's 7.
Yes,
Okay. Thank you very much.
thank you.
guys.
Good night, you guys.
Yep. Happy New Year.
Right.
Okay, so just so everybody knows that there is a case where the documents are waiting for Carol to pick them up at town hall, but we have can't get into town hall to pick them up. So, but that's hopefully if you can do that within the next week, we can get that scheduled for the 22nd as well. All right, anything further?
John,
Yes,
I'm gonna be a pain in the neck again.
yeah,
What Wayne was saying, the city of Newton, city of Brookline, I don't know if it's a town of Brookline, the city of Brookline, but they give you a booklet of what they want. They give it right to the applicant, you know? And it's got the specifications, everything they want written right out. And that's what you gotta come in with, all right? Usually the chairman checks everything off when he looks at it, you know? But
Yeah, and if we had a town planning department that was sitting there receiving these plans and,
We
you know,
I don't think we have a planner. We have,
no, so all I can tell you is that I am keeping an eye out for if I think something's gonna be an issue and getting the word to the applicant ahead of time. I don't want to sort of trap them the night of the meeting and say, this
I
is,
did some work in Brockton this year. They're starting to come around. Brockton's starting to get their act together.
yeah,
And Wayne is right. If they're gonna hand us a sheet of 8.5 by 11, that's to give us the plan, not but is this a reduced? Can you see that?
yeah,
Reduce 8.5?
yeah.
Is there another plan that's bigger?
Well, I mean, they have to, part of the problem is because in terms of the size of the plan, Fred,
Yeah,
that's because, I mean, Carol, correct me if I'm wrong, they're still submitting full-size plans.
They are.
For the purpose of the meeting, I've been sending you guys, I've been asking Carl Gabri and the other engineers to send us a PDF so that we can send it out to the members, which is what a lot of towns do anyway. A lot of towns ask for everything to be submitted electronically, and they just really are sending out PDFs to members instead of the plans.
Wayne has been on this board for many years, like myself, and we're used to having a full-size drawing.
Yeah.
I know it's a lot of work, but you go to another town, you hand them something like this, they're not gonna laugh. They're gonna laugh at you. You know that.
Yeah, again, Fred, the applicants are submitting multiple copies of the full-size plans. But as long as we're in this, if you want that, or particularly if there's some application and you get the plan and you're not satisfied with that, get in touch with Carol and we'll get you the full-size set of plans. But as long as we're in this current situation, I'll defer to the other members of the board. If you want Carol sending you out the full sets of plans, then that's what we'll do.
Well, won't that cost a lot more in postage?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
When we get our.
Well, our budget won't stand up to that.
I asked the engineer for the PDF anyway, because for purposes of the meeting, when we put it up on the screen for everybody to see, I need to have the PDF anyway. But if there's some matter where, we get some big project and people want to, and Fred, I know if it's some big project and there's issues of where's the water line, where's the sewer line, the electric lines, gas lines, in that case, that might be a case where we'll need to send out, we get another Stop and Shop, something like that. Well, we're going to need to send out.
Oh, yeah.
But that's not, the water and gas lines, things like that, none of our business. That's the planning board.
Yeah, well, Fred will want to see him. That's why I mentioned him.
And the planning board's gonna have 2 vacancies this coming year, because Sheila's moving out of town and so hasn't Eric.
Ah,
So they got 2 vacancies right now.
all right. Okay, I'm going to, if everybody's okay, we're going to adjourn the meeting. All set? All right, I declare the meeting adjourned. Thank you all.
All right.
Good night.